Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz. Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah was good.
All right, for all things Trackstarz, make sure you go to trackstarz.com. Follow us on Instagram, like us on the Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And my 3 Stacks voice. Inside joke, y'all gotta do.
All right, we got Godson and Pastor Forrest in the building with us today.
Yeah, man.
What up?
Got the full
What's up?
crew. How y'all doing? Y'all good?
Good.
Yeah, man. How's y'all week?
Blessed. Just it's a beautiful week, man. It's a beautiful day here too in the ATL. So thank you for having us.
Of course,
Yeah,
man.
mine was going good until today.
It's about to get better.
Until
Just
today.
wait.
Stay tuned to why he is saying that.
Why he's sweaty.
But yeah, so last week we got a lot of feedback that you guys really enjoyed the non-stop show, right? So we're gonna try it again. It actually makes our lives easier too. So that's awesome that y'all liked it. So we're gonna experiment a little bit with it today. Gonna keep making it better. So y'all give us feedback. Also, let us know if you miss hearing the live music. Some people might. I might throw some on maybe before the show starts just to get everybody warmed up. But just let us know. Let us know. All right. So, y'all ready?
Let's go.
It's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be a big one today, guys. All right, here we go. So first of all, we just miss a lot of things, right? So
Yes.
we just missed J. Cole apologizing to Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
So if you don't know, J. Cole, okay, so this goes back. So J. Cole and Kendrick are friends. They were rumored for years to come out with a joint album. They never did it. So they're close. Kendrick just shot a flamethrower at J. Cole and Drake, mostly Drake.
Yeah.
But because J. Cole has been kind of on a run recently, a lot of people were like, hey, you coming for that #1 spot, you better respond. Respond. So he came out with this song called 7 Minute Drill. And there was some people liked it, some people didn't like it. It was average response to it. But I think most people still said he was up 1 in the battle just because at least he was more direct.
Yeah.
Kendrick didn't really say anything about him. So they were anticipating Kendrick's response and then the back and forth and all that. But I think it was Monday or Sunday?
It was Sunday.
Sunday night. At the, what's it called, Dreamville Fest?
Dreamville Festival.
At the Dreamville Fest, he was on stage and he took out a moment to say
Me, right?
this.
So I'm so proud of that project, except for one part. It's one part of that that make me feel like, man, that's the lamest shit I ever did in my life, right? And I know this is not what a lot of people want to hear. I know I can hear my up there right now like, nah, don't do that. But I got to keep it 100 with y'all, right? I had a relapse, right? Because y'all heard some shit that happened 2-3 weeks ago, however long it was. Y'all heard that bazooka that was dropped on the game, right? So all of this time of me moving on my own accord, for the first time I was tested. Why am I tested? Because I got the world and I got my like, what you gonna do, Cole? My like, bit boy, I must have had 1,000 missed calls. Oh my God. Text flooded. I couldn't even answer my wartime. Boom, 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 right? I want to see blood. And I was conflicted because, one, I know my heart, you know what I mean? And like, I know how I feel about my peers, these two that I just been blessed to even stand beside in this game, let alone chase their greatness, right? So I felt conflicted because I'm like, bro, I know I don't really feel no way, but the world want to see blood. I don't know if y'all can feel that, but the world want to see blood. So I say all of that to say, in my spirit of trying to like get this music out, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I moved in a way that I feel spiritually feel bad on me. Like I try to like jab my back and I try to keep it friendly, but at the end of the day, when I listen to it and when it comes out and I see the talk, that shit don't sit right with my spirit. That shit make me feel, that shit disrupts my peace. So what I want to say right here tonight is, in the midst of me doing that and in that shit, trying to find a little angle and downplay this catalog and his greatness, I want to say right now tonight, how many people think Kendrick Lamar is one of the greatest?
He said a lot right there.
I know.
I had to cut
Truthfully,
it
y'all
all out.
love Kendrick Lamar, correct? As
Like
do
the
I.
radio.
So I just want to come up here and be like, publicly be like, bruh, that was the lamest, like, goofiest. And I say all that to say, it made me feel like 10 years ago when I was moving incorrectly. And I pray that God align me back up on my purpose and on my path. You know what I mean? I pray that my really didn't feel no way. And if he did, I got my chin out. Take your best shot. I'm gonna take that shit on the chin, boy. Do what you do. You know what I mean? Like, all good. Like, it's love. And I pray that, I pray that y'all are like, forgive for like the misstep, and then I can get back to my true path. Cause I ain't gonna lie to y'all. The past 2 days felt terrible. Like, it let me know how good I've been sleeping for the past 10 years. So all of that to say, man, I wanna now perform the song that's a reminder to me of getting back on the right path and getting in tune with God. And the name of the song is called Love Yours. I wanna do that for y'all right now.
Woo!
All right.
Hot fire.
It's a lot.
So, what did you guys think of the apology?
So I think the apology's fine. Coming from a Christian standpoint, it's what you're supposed to do. Then don't think J. Cole is a Christian. Not sure if he is or not. He's just using an expletive right before God's name. So, but I've been looking at the comments of his fans, and they think that this is like really weak. And I saw one guy was like, "Man, I can't listen to your album anymore. Like, it don't hit the same anymore. Like, I don't. This is weird to me. It's weird."
So the reaction made me realize how much of a bad place we're in as a society. We are, just because it's like when I first heard it, I was like, "Oh man, that's big of him to say that." Because I mean, it was his friend; he had no problem with him. So if he was just peer pressured into it, he shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But then I saw all the reaction. I was like, I understand why people are upset because they, like he said, they wanted blood. They wanted to see him go for that #1 spot. The only thing I would tell Cole is this is the fruit of being double-minded.
Yeah.
You're double-minded. You come off as somebody who is positive and godly, even though he's not a Christian necessarily. Even though
I think he's a Muslim.
Is he? I've never heard him
No,
say
I
that.
don't think he's a Muslim. I think he's spiritual.
On his album, he said all he do was talk to Farrakhan, so I'm assuming.
Well, there's a lot of Christians that talk to Farrakhan. But what it shows me is that he's probably like a cultural Christian, like we've been saying.
Yeah.
Where he probably would say he believes in the God of the Bible, but not everything, that kind of thing. But I think what the reaction he's getting is he's trying to live both worlds, where he's this positive guy, but then in all of his lyrics, he's like, I'm coming for the #1 spot. Anybody who want it can have it. Like he's constantly saying that. Mm-hmm. So I think it's like if you're not going to go all in and be truly godly and positive, you're going to have to accept what comes with braggadocious, violent lyrics, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what comes with it?
Well,
But isn't that though what hip hop was kind of built on, in a sense, right? On pride. And when I say pride, right, I'm the best rapper, right? It was Bronx versus Queens, right? And so like that's been carried out now for the last 50 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think what I saw here was J. Cole actually did something countercultural to hip hop.
Yeah.
Right. He participated with the tradition of entertaining the battle. Yeah. Right. But in his spirit, like he said, he ain't feel right about it. So he actually did something that wasn't on his heart to do.
Yeah.
And so I actually saw this from a different standpoint, like maybe God is doing a work, right? This is the beginning of a convicted seed that might be, starting to brew in some sort of way, shape, or form. I applaud him for what he did because I come from the world of rap, right? And you're right, that's what we do, right? If somebody says something about you in a song or remotely about you, clap back. That's just what you're quote unquote supposed to do. But tell me what other genre they do that in.
That's true.
You know what I mean? What other genre are we holding each other down by clapping at each other?
Anita Baker.
Well, right, but it wasn't as glorified as this. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're right. Michael Jackson and Prince, right? I get it.
I just think, man.
But not on the songs.
Right.
The Christian side of me is like, man, great job. That's honorable. That's integral. The petty side of me, like, bro, like, we want a good show. We want some entertainment. And like you said, to really show the carnality of our mind. And we want to see two people that tear each other apart. But I also feel like in the spirit of hip hop, it don't necessarily have to be violent. It's like, okay, I don't have no problem with you. You don't have a problem with me. But let's just rap and just see who's the best rapper.
But I think the thing is this: he's saying that one, he felt the pressure, and then two, that he tried to downplay something that he didn't believe. Yeah. So it's like he was rapping something that he didn't believe. So in essence, he was right to say, I don't feel right in my spirit because I don't believe what I'm saying.
He shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. But I think I think him and Kendrick has that same Kendrick spirit of I could be positive and I could spit.
He's double-minded too.
Yeah, it's the DMX Tupac thing. Yeah. The duality of good and evil and which one should win and why do I think I can make hit him up and also I can make keep your head up and then also when I can make get at me dog and I'm ready to meet him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or Lord give me a sign. So it's just that duality of I think they say every human being has that duality of like inside of you where you were like basically it's your flesh and your spirit. You know what I mean? But I think for him he's gotten to that space where he's been killing people on records when they do features. You call him the feature killer. Yeah. So now it's like you're saying you're the best and everybody's saying like you're the guy right now and you got an opportunity to show it because you're not part of that. You've never been battle tested. That's another thing what people say in the culture. You've never been battle tested. You never had a battle, so we don't know if you really that good. So I think he hit that wall and was like, man, this ain't right. I shouldn't be downplaying his music when I know that he made good music.
He made a lot of mistakes. So first of all, that first beat was whack. When it switched to the conductor
the switch beat was dope.
He should have started with that, and he could have just done his rappity, I'm the best thing without dissing Kendrick. Exactly. He could have just responded to the fact that he was included in the diss without actually dissing him back.
Just kill it.
Then he would have been fine.
Because Kendrick didn't really say that. All he said to him was like, ain't no big three, it's just me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he could have.
It could have just been, okay, counterpoint. No, it's me. You know what I mean? Like, just do that.
So then now what goes on now, right? Where, like, does Kendrick be like, oh, now I really know how you felt about my music?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or, does he clap back? Or is J. Cole just that much of a genius that he did all this so Kendrick doesn't clap back?
Well,
which I doubt it. But
right
still
now,
lose if
Kendrick
you
gonna clap regardless. I think Kendrick on that in that mode right now because everybody was talking about his last album was like the worst project he put out and all this stuff. So he trying to prove himself. I feel like reprove himself. I feel.
Yeah, no doubt.
It feels like in the sense though of the diss tracks when they go back and forth like that. If you come out and you almost pretty much wave the white flag to your opponent. Aren't you out at that moment? Like
he's out.
He's done, right? So if Kendrick comes back and let's just say is as bad as some of those other diss albums out there,
Hit 'Em Up.
Yeah. God. Hit 'Em Up was life changing for me, man. After I went back and watched Hit 'Em Up, yes. I completely gave up road rage after that. I was like, no more playing with life. It's like, you don't
saw
play
the
with
end
life.
of your anger.
To this day, I can't hit him up.
It's bad.
Dude.
Because that was your guy.
Yeah. And then at the end, he played me. He was like, if you like Bad Boy, you too. I was like, what? What did I do?
You know what was,
Tupac, I don't
but you
even
know
know
what's
you.
a reality though? I went back and looked at the timeline. If you listen to like the last rent he goes off in that song,
Don't let your
bro, listen, he died like 3 months later after releasing that track. That's too close.
Wow.
Too close to discomfort. So anyway, I'm saying like I feel like the white flag has been waved. There's nothing else you can do.
Yeah.
He's just gonna get buried the next time.
Well, I would just suggest for Cole, what I'm afraid is he's gonna hear all this feedback of everybody basically writing him off. Like to me, people are done with him.
Oh, yeah,
you see what Maul said?
Yeah, that was
this is
crazy.
the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But basically just being like, but what it does show, what it opened my ears to is, that's what you get.
Yeah.
You claim you were this bad dude. You could kill this person, that person. I'm the best this. I'm the best that. I'll sleep with this one and that one. This is what you get. I don't feel bad for him, but it does show that you have to be consistent. If you're gonna be the good guy, be the good guy. Don't play around with this I'm half bad, half good stuff.
So what do you think his mindset was? Because he was on Future new project, the second half Future new project. What do you think made him do that?
Well, that was
they said
before.
It was
It was an old song?
That's old, yeah.
But I don't think we should judge. This is just my personal opinion. When a man, I think he's trying to transition. And a lot of times culture sees a man being vulnerable as a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it as a sign of strength.
Yeah.
Well,
I was,
yeah.
I was
And
proud of it.
so a lot of times we look at it, oh, he's straddling the fence, or maybe he's in that transition where God is pulling him one way, but he's still connected to the culture.
Yeah.
Right. And culture says,
Yeah.
no, you can't do that. You gotta, like you said, you gotta clap back. Right. And he's like, no, but that ain't who I'm trying to be.
Right.
So I'll let y'all have that. Say what you want to say about me. Throw me under the bus. Say I'm whack. Say I'm weak. Say I don't have no comeback. Y'all can have that. I'll let y'all have that because I'm trying to be a new man.
The only difference is he has to make a decision because it
I agree with
could
that. I
cause
agree.
him to go
True
even
that.
deeper into
Facts.
depravity. So
Well, he did say something in the beginning, right? He said I did this on my own accord, right? Or I was working on my own accord. So I'm wondering if, like you said, if he's starting to dabble in more of a spiritual mindset. Who knows what type of spirituality we talking here?
Yeah.
But if that's kind of where it's coming
I see
from.
what you're doing. You're trying to stall. You're not
No,
gonna
no,
get
no,
away.
no.
You're not gonna get away with this.
No. What I was
we
gonna
overtime. You
no,
know that.
no. What I was gonna say was this reminds me of sports analogies. This reminds me of sports analogies when you have a really good wide receiver who's retiring from the league because the new guy's in and everybody's talking about that person, or you're bouncing from team to team, and it's like, okay, you either go out on your own and retire, just like, hey, I'm retiring, or you get forced out. You know what I'm saying? So.
Okay, he's not stalling past that. All right, here we go.
What's that?
This is what Ryan does not want us to talk about. So Tiphani Montgomery, we talked about her several times on the show. She clapping at another group today. So let's hear what she has to say.
Worse than the Beehive, in my opinion.
It's going to be a bigger backlash, I think. Here we
With
go.
that being said, I would say everybody that's in a sorority and a fraternity has made that their idol. It is made that their comfort. It's made that their open door. It's made that what they rely on. It's what they use as a crutch. God is out of the picture, even if they identify as a Christian. Now, the goal I want everybody to do, since most people joined the fraternity or sorority 20, 10, 15 years ago, right? I want you to go back to the declaration you made. I want you to go back to the oath, the vow, and the pronouncements that you made when you got there. I want you to open up the Bible, and I want you to read them side by side. And I want you and your Holy Ghost you say you have, the Spirit of truth, to judge and say honestly, the pronouncements I made with this organization should have only been made to God. And only if you have the spirit of truth and not the spirit of error or the spirit of offense, because you're not offended with me, you're offended with God, that you will say, I am not only going to denounce this sorority in prayer, let heaven and earth record this day, I denounce my affiliation with this sorority and fraternity and this Freemason Association and Eastern Star Association, but I'm also going to write a letter of denouncement. Well, fortunately, there's a generation of people who have been coming out of these organizations of believers, young believers, older believers, after they do what I said. They write out, they pull out what they vowed 20 years ago. They pull out the Bible and say, oh my gosh, I made a vow to an organization that I should have only made to God, right? They've been coming out. Well, recently the organizations have started to say, you can denounce, but you have to agree to these rules. You have to agree to never talk bad about us. You have to agree to never say what your process was in getting here, right? Now they're trying to put this requirement for you they're trying to make it very hard for you to denounce. And I don't think that God wants you a part of any organization that's gonna make it very hard for you to denounce. That's not God, right? That's not the nature.
All right, so here we go. We got a few Greeks on our team, so we're gonna tread carefully here. Ryan, how did that hit you,
15 minutes, Ryan.
brother?
15.
Yeah, so I am part of a Greek organization, grad chapter, Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. And you know what? When I first joined my org, it was more like, I tell Sean this all the time, it felt no different than being like a Falcons fan or a University of Alabama football fan. Like, it's just a fan base, right? Like, it's just a group, right? We did do social things around the city. I myself participated in those things. But I did get to a really strange place. I got to a strange place. I was at a barbecue, and we were reciting the pledge. And I noticed that there was things in there, and I kind of started mumbling words like, and I started just feeling weird. Like I felt like there was some. I'm just being honest. There were some words in there. There were some words in our pledge to our shield, right? That made me feel indifferent about it because we were using words like glory and honor in there, and I've never given glory and honor to anything but God. And so for me, that was a point. That was a turning point for me. As far as like the paraphernalia, the greets and things like that, the greetings, and just being with my my other associated frat brothers, which is my brother-in-law, and then Rick Sincere, FMG.
Yeah.
Don't throw nobody in here, brother. Don't throw nobody else up in here.
Yeah.
You're on your own, brother.
And
Keep
my
talking.
little sister Ciara, who's a proud member of Alpha Phi.
Shout out to Ciara in the comments that she doesn't agree with her.
Alpha Kappa Alpha. Yeah, and so my thing is this, like, I'll be honest with you. My last chapter meeting was the week before I met my wife. When I met my wife, it was like I had another association that I was chasing after. I had another, Greek life. You're in for the family aspect of it as well, right? Like these are my brothers, right? So I'm going to these organization events and things like that, and then it started kind of conflicting with the time that I had available. So yeah, things changed for me then, but I do get what she's saying, and I imagine that anybody who takes that challenge might see and feel some ways that they're gonna need to go off and pray. But you know what what really sticks to my heart the most is I remember in reading the Gospels when Jesus kind of came around and he had told Peter and Simon to just give up everything, right? Just give it all up. That's how I feel like that's the one gang that I want to be a part of is the Jesus gang. I want to be a part. If I follow anything, if I believe in anything, I want that to be the example that I leave behind for my children, and that I lead the world with. That's why it was easy for us to drop our affiliation with mainstream radio.
Yeah,
and the fact that I could have been a radio personality on that side versus doing things God's way. But I remember telling my mentor, if I do this, I'm only going to do it to edify God. I won't do it for any other way. So in my life, that's what I model my behaviors, my patterns, and what I seek after. So
you ready to announce? Are you ready to announce?
There's an official way to do that I can't do on air. I would want to be respectful to my frat brothers as well as my line brothers and let them know, you know what I'm saying? Like they still call me for barbecues and cookouts and hanging out and
they
stuff like that.
They gonna stop if you say that?
Yeah, of course they will.
You ain't down with the gang no more.
I mean,
gang bang.
They won't call me. They won't call me for those particular reasons. Like it would be weird to have the guy show up
that says
is
y'all
not,
are sinful and
not in
y'all going to hell.
Not in paraphernalia because this was a whole Greek, gathering that we were supposed to be having. So yeah.
I'm gonna say this, Ryan.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shout out to what you did, bro.
Thank you, bro.
That was big of you, bro.
Yeah, that was kind of big. I will say this. I think what she said that had some valid points to it was your oath in the Bible.
Yeah.
When the Word of God says test the spirit. And that's basically what she's saying. Test the spirit of what you're saying that you're vowing to and oath to. You may not agree with what she's saying. You may not feel it. But what she says, pull out your sheets and test it. It's just the same thing when we talk about with music. Like you say, you like that song, test it against the Word of God.
Correct.
If it goes countercultural to the Word of God, then you have some things where the Lord got to speak to you about.
Correct.
Yeah, and
That's
that's
all
what
she's
music
saying.
did to me.
I would just say
Music
this.
has done that.
I've had problems with this since before you even joined, right? So
Yeah.
you've been hearing my opinion on this for a while. So I've just seen a lot of weird stuff. That's all I'm gonna say. But I would just say, just watch yourself when your natural reaction to somebody saying something is no.
But you
Like that's a weird thing to do. Like just why did you do that? Why did that happen? That's what I would question
But
myself.
I've always been like cautious with you because you feel that way about sports teams too.
You try to change the subject.
No. I'm just
Do not
saying.
feel that
I'm
way
just
about
saying. Like
sports
I know you had a problem when I joined, but you also don't really like when I'm wearing, talking about Falcons or Alabama.
You get really like deep into belonging to things.
I like being able to have a side in the argument.
Right.
Like the national championship is going on. I want my team to be there or.
It's just
what I'm
the
saying?
caution is just, I mean, the Greek thing is way more serious than that. But the caution is just when you feel like you need to belong to something more than you the kingdom of God. You know?
But I'll be
Anything
honest with
that's-
you, like-
takes you away from that.
I'll be honest with you. You could talk about the black letter Greek organizations all you want, but there's also a problem with the American flag and the patriotism.
Change the subject
group.
again.
I'm
We
serious.
do
I'm
that
saying-
topic too.
I'm saying-
Are you deflecting?
He deflected
I'm
us.
not deflecting because I answered you. I
No,
answered
you
you. I
did a
told
great
you my
job, but
truth.
let's stick on this.
I told you my truth.
So, just from I know people that have denounced. I know people who are still in it who have had a change of heart and they see it differently. I would just want to ask, like, cut through all of your pride in what they do well and things like that. Are we wrong about it being a little weird? Is it not a little culty?
I'll say.
Is
I'll
it not a
say
little
it's-
questionable biblically?
Well,
Are we making that up?
I'll say this real quick. I think the reason why it's a belonging. It's almost like your second family. I remember years ago in a former church. I remember somebody who was in a fraternity, and he said that he was like, I would rely more on my brothers than a brother in Christ. And I was like, because he was so close to the people, and to me,
gang, bro.
and to me, I was like,
Hey, people getting hazed
I
and
will
beat
say
up to
this.
get in. You got colors.
I didn't have.
Hey, y'all clicked up.
y'all organized gang
Hey, we're
banging.
smoking around. Gang banging.
Okay, all right. I can explain that part, Jeremiah. When I was online, right? They were telling me that your brotherhood is when you go to these meetings, right? You introduce yourself to a stranger who obviously is no longer a stranger to you because they're your brother. And then they would say, hey, if you were ever in Detroit and you needed a place to sleep, you don't need to get a hotel. You can call me. Like that, it's an extension of making you feel like you have an immediate family outside of your immediate family. But it's also a good thing.
Okay,
It's a good thing because
Listen.
when you fall on hard times,
I got
if you fall on hard times,
That's all dope.
that's really dope.
All of that is cool. But what about the weird stuff? Like if it was just a club that y'all were part of that was like, hey, these are my guys, that's cool. I don't care about that. The weird stuff though, the pledges, the biblical mixing with Greek mythology, that's the weird stuff. So I would just say, I know you guys love this stuff, but just be honest with yourself. That's weird.
Trickery.
That's super weird.
I mean, I look at it this way too: the fact that when you do denounce and then you're excommunicated, right? That practice in itself is not of the Lord, right? It's not godly. I mean, the scriptures say by how you love each other, that's how we'll know you, right? And so if they just going to go ahead and turn it back on you, then like you got to kind of question the root of that practice to begin
That's what you're
with,
saying.
right? I was born and raised Jehovah's Witness. Okay, so
Oh,
same
okay.
thing. I was excommunicated, right? But they say we love you. How you love me if you don't even talk to me, my own parents, right? So when I look at the root of that organization, they believe in God and Jesus, right? But the root of even that practice right there is a wicked practice. It's a wicked root, you know what I mean? Where you're just going to go ahead and abandon somebody, which is not rule number one, not of God, right?
Exactly.
So that's
You can't
kind
come
of
to
where
the
it comes
cookout.
to
If
me.
you say I'm no longer in this origin, you can't come to the cookout. You
come
can't
to the
come skate.
cookout.
You can't do nothing.
No.
I don't want to skate with you. I
don't
don't
know.
want
They
to
won't help you no more, or they won't help you anymore.
Yeah. I don't know if you can't come to the cookout. You just can't come,
with your colors.
with your
jacket.
paraphernalia. That
Don't
kind
wear
of
the
stuff,
wrong
yeah.
colors, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to all the people that I know that have converted it into just a club for themselves, where they ignore the weird stuff that nobody seems to want to talk about. I'll keep saying that. Y'all not talking about the weird stuff.
Well, they
But,
can't talk about the weird stuff.
Of course.
I mean, the weird
hazing?
stuff. Okay,
Nah, just the
The
hazing.
weird. I will say this: the weird stuff is more like is. All right, y'all gonna bury me for this. Go ahead. It's more like a mascot.
What?
It's like that. It's like the Georgia Bulldog, right? Like it's more like a mascot. Like when we do our okay, I can't say that.
Okay, so using that same
When
formula,
we
what
do
you
our-
just saying.
Can't say, bro.
So would you go and
When we
would
step.
you go to Alabama and get in front of the mascot of Alabama and say, "I pledge my life to you. I'll honor you. I'll give you glory. I'll give you this." Would you go in front of that Crimson Tide?
Well, that's
elephant
not the
and
that's
do
not
that?
the mascot.
I think
though.
that's what
This-
Sean talking about.
No,
the
no, no,
weird
no.
stuff.
That's different. There's.
You just
so-
said the mascot.
So iotas have a centaur.
Hey, I don't care, man.
Right? No, I'm giving
only got
I'm
1
giving
minute
an
left.
example. Iotas have a centaur, but what we're talking about their honor and glory is talking about the shield. It's different.
To the club.
The shield of the of the organization.
So what y'all stand for?
The Shield.
The Shield of Faith, is it?
No, it's not the Shield of Faith.
what we talking about?
So like we do like this thing called the Centaur Walk, right? It's just a bow and then a shield, and
I've been to pro base.
I
get it.
So that's what I'm saying. Like it's like a mascot, but it is a myth. What is it? Greek myth?
Mythology.
It's a demon.
Yo,
I'll just say this.
But
I'll just say this.
Worship.
This we gonna get more backlash on this than we did on Beyonce, than we did on Donald Trump, than we did on anything. And so is she. She better watch out.
But
for
it
this.
is mentioned in the Bible.
I think, but what was
Our mascot.
no? But all I'm saying,
to worship it.
No.
I think only thing I said is I think the thing to walk away from this for anybody who watching this, just test it. That's all she's saying. It's tested.
Yeah.
We test any other spirit.
Absolutely.
Well,
So test it.
when
That's
I
all it is.
say testing it is right, but it's like you don't just test it. You got to also determine what those words mean to you. Like, are those words that you have laid up for God? Like, these are words that you laid up, like honor, glory. That stuff is like, that's only God for me. Mm-hmm. So when I'm saying it about a shield, then I had to take a pause, and I was like, whoa, this is
It's weird.
All
right. I'll leave y'all alone, y'all. I'll leave y'all alone. All right. So come back down. This is serious. Yeah. This next one is serious.
Next one's serious?
Yeah.
Serious.
Oh, this one wasn't.
All right. So I don't know how y'all gonna react to this, honestly. So O.J. Simpson just passed away.
Yeah.
And I heard a lot of varying reactions. So let's just hear the news clip, and then we'll come back and talk.
Let's get to that breaking news right now. Orenthal Simpson, the former football great who was accused of and ultimately acquitted of the brutal 1994 slayings of his ex-wife Ann Rod Goldman, has died. According to his family, they put this out on social media. He was 76 years old. They say on April 10th, our father, Orenthal James Simpson, succumbed to his battle with cancer. He was surrounded by his children and grandchildren. During this time of transition, his family asks that you please respect their wishes for privacy and grace. That was a statement that was released on X earlier today.
Wow.
All right. So when I went online, I saw a bunch of good riddance.
Yeah,
that's what he gets.
Yeah,
type comments.
It's been bad, I think that's just.
And then I saw a bunch of like, we'll miss him. They like really, really complimentary ones. I think the question that I think was brought up in our chat during the week is, we don't know anything about what he did before he died or whatever, but is there? I think some people have a problem with, let's say he got saved before he died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That if he did, he would be in heaven.
Yeah.
Do you have a problem with that truth? Because there's a lot of people. There's a lot.
Didn't Jeffrey Dahmer?
Yeah. So there's a lot of people that hate OJ. I mean, I see. It's probably some of the same people I saw in the videos. You remember that? I remember I was in school and my teacher wheeled out one of them, portable things, put it on the TV, and I will never forget seeing people go, and then next to each other. It was crazy. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So
brought us together.
The OJ
people are still mad from that day and hate him.
The
So
OJ verdict to me was split with the Rodney King verdict. You know what I mean? Like, it was almost like people were reacting to this is a revenge play on Rodney King's verdict being just terrible. Just terrible. So I think that's the kind of reaction. But I was at the doctor's office and I opened up my phone and I saw it. I was like, oh, wow, O.J. Simpson just passed away. And the doctor was like, well, I guess we're supposed to be. I mean, he was a person, so I guess that's a bad thing. Yeah, okay. Like, gee, like, dude. And then I turned on the radio when I got in the car, and the radio personality was like, well, yeah, we should be. This is the day where you could mourn OJ's passing, but other people have passed away today too. Let's talk about them. Like, God, what's going on? So then, social media, like, it's crazy because it's everybody who had a problem with that verdict and didn't necessarily. I mean, that you don't have a heaven or hell to put him in. Like I was watching Jimmy Kimmel and he was like, O.J. Simpson died today. He went straight to hell. I was like, jeez, like why?
I saw that. That was.
Yeah,
That's
I know,
rough.
and Jimmy Kimmel is probably my favorite celebrity overall. But my
Celebrity?
yeah, like as far as like on television, like I just like his
A lot of stuff
personality.
revealing today, right?
I like his personality in and off the like with his family. His interaction with his family is really cool. But I know that joke writers write those jokes too, so I'm still like I still wish he hadn't said it. But it's just
You a
awful.
mess. You a mess,
awful.
Crispy.
I've been going back
messing
and
with me?
because there's a lot of stuff I forgot about the trial, and I was like, he never got found guilty of the criminal trial. He was guilty in the civil trial.
Yeah.
So I forgot like how many details there were. So me and my wife been looking at some stuff, and I'm like, dog, he did that joint.
You know
He did it, man.
I'm sorry. You know the good
He
one to
killed
watch
that
is
girl.
The People versus OJ. That series.
I saw
That's
that
good,
series.
too.
Yeah.
Great series.
I
If
saw
you
that
if you want to
series.
watch something that's like you'll see behind the scenes on how people came to the conclusion of his not guilty verdict and how a lot of stuff it's actually very
Well,
good. series.
here's what was interesting to me is that the people I saw that were so like shocked at the black response to the verdict didn't understand why.
Yeah.
And the Rodney King beating was a large, and of course years and years and years of suffering. But that Rodney King verdict really fueled the passion for him getting off.
Yeah.
People didn't care if he was innocent or not. It was just y'all get one, we get one. That's
Yeah.
kind of the feeling at that time, because it was like y'all beat this man up in broad daylight and got off. So why does it matter if he did what he did? So I think that was fueling it. But just looking at all the evidence again, man, it was so obvious that man did it. It's plain as day.
know, but
And here's the
I don't
thing.
know,
Here's the
Sean.
thing. Here's
scary.
The glove was too small. You know what I mean? I don't know.
The glove doesn't
Well, if
fit.
I'm
You
doing
must have
something
quit.
wrong, I'm not gonna buy the right size either.
Just hearing the testimony of all the times he beat her and abused her before that day, I'm like, I don't feel bad for him. If you got caught up on a case, to me it's like,
So you think if somebody, I'm sorry. So you think if he was beating her and then he could kill her? That's what you think?
I'm saying yes. And even if he didn't, so what? If you got caught up on that after doing what you did to her for all them years, that's on you, bro. Like,
Smoke this
But
fire.
okay, so wasn't the story that Ronald Goldman wasn't actually somebody she was dating? It was just a friend of hers.
there's nobody knows, man. Nobody knows.
'Cause, I mean-
I heard both sides.
A fit and a rage of jealousy. If you're like what we just heard about the pastor's son killing the youth pastor's the youth pastor, he was already divorced from her. Yeah. So if all you want to do is be with her, then y'all go be together. But he's upset that dude punched his window in and it was violent. So my thing is, if it's a fit of passion and you know Ronald Goldman is not the person that she's chosen to be with, why go so far as to be so brutal in both their murders? If it was somebody coming in looking for drug money, because
No, it
or
wasn't.
drug
But
dealers.
Here's the problem I have with that. It's when justice is, when people of color
Mm-hmm.
get justice in the court system, it's frowned upon by other races, for the most part.
That's true.
But when they get justice, you rarely hear African Americans come out enraged like they did with OJ. So it's like I understand it, but I don't think it's fair, because he was acquitted in the court of law.
He was.
So why can't we say, or America, or just everybody just say, okay, well, he got acquitted, and move on from it.
Because he
But
did it, bro.
Man, Bart Furman was planting evidence and doing all kind of crazy
I mean,
stuff.
he took the man's blood.
There was a lot of stuff that
and
was
he
shady.
didn't put it in the evidence.
Yeah,
And
a lot of
I'll just say
factors.
this: Johnny Cochran is a genius.
Oh,
he got that man off of killing somebody. I'll just say that.
I don't think he killed her.
Every
I don't think
technicality.
you don't.
I don't think.
Did anybody
I
ever
don't
read
see
the
how,
book?
how one person
It was
killed
either
two people.
it was him or his son, one of them two. All right, hold on. But here was the point of all this. The point was, even if he did all that, the people who have a problem with the fact that, let's say he got saved towards the end of his life, it just brought me back to the parable of the person who owned the field, right? He said 6 a.m. I'm just making up numbers. 6 a.m. I'll give you $100 to work the field all
Oh,
day.
yeah.
12 noon, I'll give you $100 to work
Yeah.
the field. 6 p.m., I'll give you $100 to work the field. The people at 6 a.m. said, how come they get the same money I got? And the response was, I told you what you would get if you did it.
Yeah.
What business do you have of whether I give them something else?
And it's my money.
So
to give,
I would just say the caution to people who hate him, You have no idea what God did with him towards the end of his life.
True.
God could save Jeffrey Dahmer. He could save OJ. He could save the worst person you could imagine in your heart. He could save any of those people. And what I think that parable did to me when I read it was the pride that you start to build up as a Christian over years of being a Christian. You start to feel like you deserve it. It's just a reminder you didn't deserve your $100.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
So that's just a reminder. Make sure don't hate people to death.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like God can redeem anybody, but we got to keep going.
Right.
All right.
That's good.
All right. So next up, so Jeremiah, I want you to introduce this one, bro. Tiphani, what's her name?
K. Michelle?
K. Michelle, yeah.
All right, so K. Michelle did a live, and she said that you should be homosexual regardless of what the Bible says. So
You should
yeah,
what?
you should follow your feelings, and
Wow.
regardless of what the Bible says.
You ain't supposed to be gay in the Bible. You ain't supposed to be this and that. I don't believe that. Yeah, that's weird to me. I don't believe that you're not supposed to be gay in the Bible. Cut it down. I don't believe that you're not supposed to be gay. This and that. I just don't believe that. So be mad at me, this and that. People are supposed to be what they feel in the inside. And you can't tell people.
They also said, okay, that's what they said in the Bible, but they also said that no sin sends you to hell. So a lot of people
No sin send you to hell.
But blasphemy. But that's what
What is blasphemy? Tell me what that means.
Oh God. You shouldn't be talking.
Yeah, and no sin will send you to hell. You can kill a person. Okay, it's okay for you to kill a person, but it ain't okay for you to be. Like I don't believe that you can be who you are. I don't believe that you can. I don't believe that you can sin. I don't believe that you can sin. So you gonna tell me that a person that loves somebody and spiritually feel them because they is same sex, you gonna tell me that person is going to hell, but you can go a person and take them off the earth and take them from their family and everything. But our church is gonna tell us that you can kill before you be. I'm sorry, I don't stand on it, and I don't believe that. Them southern churches gonna tell you, oh no, you can't be, you can't take a life either. But guess what? For us to say that our Bible says that we can't be, but we can kill. No sin is a sin, right?
That's all we got.
No, it ain't about that. It's not about my church. It's about the fact that, like she said, no sin is bigger than another sin. And then you go up in the South and they preach to you that you can't even be yourself. You can't have nothing on you.
Blindly in the blind. All right. Because the people that were butting in were saying wrong stuff too. What do y'all think? What came? A lot of people feel like what she. To be honest, I think she was a little drunk. But a lot of people feel like how she feels about that. What do you think?
People just want to do whatever they want to do. I mean, it's just another case of people just picking and choosing which sins they want to follow and what they don't. I think as a straight man, like, it was a time in my life where I felt like homosexuality was like, you know what I'm saying? But other sin I wasn't so uncomfortable about, you know what I'm saying? But then I understood, like, homosexual just illicit sex outside the covenant of marriage, just like fornication is. So she was right to that degree that all sin is sin, but it's a difference between just practicing sin and actually dealing with a stronghold or trying to come out of sin. Like, if you're dealing with a homosexual lifestyle and you're trying to come out of it and you're battling, you're waging war against that, that's different instead of just saying, you know what, who I am on the inside is just gay, so I'm going to be gay. I feel like that's what the issue is. So she was arguing, just be yourself. Like, all of us, no matter what we dealt with or who we were before Christ, we had to die to something. We're still dying to something every day.
So real quick, I hear this confusion all the time. It's like, well, first of all, what she was saying was ridiculous. It's like, you could kill somebody, but no, you can't do that either.
Right. Yeah.
But this whole idea, well, all sin is the same, so it shouldn't matter. So yeah, all sin is the same, but it's all deserving of death.
Yeah.
They elevate it to all sin is the same, so it's all good. No, all sin is the same, so it's all death.
Yep. Yeah.
And I think we don't understand that. It's like, we shouldn't highlight homosexuality as a worse of a sin than sleeping with somebody before you get married. It's just as sinful. But it all means you are doomed to hell for it, right?
Yeah.
And the only reason there's any kind of hope is because of what Jesus did.
Yeah. Right.
You don't deserve it. I'm not better than you. Ryan's not better than you. Nobody's better than anybody. But it's all terrible. And I think people just get confused in that. So that's it.
I think it comes down to a test of faith. A lot of times we choose what we want to have faith in God in. And I say that to say this. I know a young lady in my church who was lesbian. Okay, and she's still struggling. And I asked her, like, for me, if they told me that being straight was a sin, I don't know how to do that because I'm attracted to women. So I don't know how to, you know what I mean? So how do you, and she basically said, I'm still attracted to women, but the difference is I've now put my faith in God to fix this for me. So I'm staying away from both men and women, and I'm just going to trust in Jesus. So that's where her walk currently is right now. Right. So she's choosing to have that miraculous faith in the Lord so that she can be no longer homosexual.
Practically, she's saying, I'm going to stay away from women.
She's putting armor on.
I'm struggling with
exactly.
it. If I struggle with getting high, getting drunk, I'm not going to go to the bar, just roll up. I'm just going to stay away from it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I want to say what she was saying was out of the same. But I want to talk to her friend because her friend was like, no sin could lead you to hell.
Which is like, what are you talking about?
And then I automatically went to Galatians 5, like where it talks about all the sins that could lead you to not inherit the kingdom of God.
And
it's like all types of stuff.
Well,
so
she was confused. She was basically saying she was referring to the whole thing as the only thing that's unforgivable is blaspheming of the Holy Spirit. She turned that into nothing is sin. Sin won't get you in trouble unless it's this. It's
and I think the thing that's the scary part about that is that it's Christians that believe this. And people who believe that. And then I was thinking about this week when I was sending that clip, and I was like, man, God, these celebrities are holding stuff over people that love you. That's like they idolize these people as much as they would idolize like a pastor or idolize these people. And I'm like, why? And it's just like I feel like just because of artists, because they make music. You know what I mean?
They're popular.
I mean, they're popular, but they make music. The stronghold for her over these men or women who are Christian would be her music. It's not just her talking. It's the music. So I'm like, God, just reveal yourself to these people so that they don't have to listen to this. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to listen to these people that they're idolizing because they make good music. That they could find good quality music to listen to so they won't have to do that. You know
So, Jay, I got a question for you. The young lady, is she looking for these desires to go away?
I don't want to speak for her, but I believe so. I do believe so. I believe she believes that one day she will be in her own
delivered
words was healed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
All right, so kind of in the same vein, I want you to introduce this next story with the Megan Thee Stallion challenge. Is that what this is?
Megan Thee Stallion challenge. All right, so a black woman called out Megan Thee Stallion for constantly doing a new challenge, but it's the old thing.
Yeah, they did the ceiling challenge at first where they were putting the phone on the ceiling. Now it's just like, it is what it is.
Yeah, so
here we go.
Y'all call it the Meg Thee Stallion challenge, but to be honest, I think it's just yet another way for women to devalue themselves. And ladies, I'm not gonna hold y'all. At this point, it's given tacky and it's given classless. I think I speak for pretty much everybody when I say we're tired of seeing it. It's played out. There is no reason why we should log onto social media and at the top part where it says stories, there's nothing but a bunch of naked women, half-naked women, thongs, panties, short shorts, twerking and showing they for what? What is y'all doing this for? Likes? Attention? Validation? If I'm not mistaken, y'all just did this a few months ago. Y'all had a whole challenge where y'all called it the ceiling challenge, where y'all was taping y'all phones to the ceiling and y'all was twerking upside down. We done seen y'all from every single angle possible. We get it. Then y'all say, oh, it's just the internet. It's not a real place. This is a real place. Y'all don't care how y'all perceive yourselves. Y'all don't care that what y'all look like. You know what this looks like? It looks classless and it looks tacky. Most of y'all are moms. Y'all don't care what y'all kids think. Y'all don't care what y'all kids might look like. Y'all don't care about y'all image to them. Y'all talking about a challenge. Challenge yourself to be a better mom. Challenge yourself to be a better woman. Challenge yourself to be a better sister, a better auntie. Go challenge yourself to read a book. Challenge yourself in ways that's healthy for you. Y'all want to keep getting up here selling yourselves short for likes and attention for what? I'm not saying you gotta be a nun, baby. I show skin. I'm not a nun. I still have fun with my girls. I still be outside. I do all of that. But it's never been about what you do. It's how you do it. Men used to have to go to a strip club to see stuff.
She ain't lying.
Yeah, she went off. So in
All you gotta do now is scroll.
Yep, she ain't lying.
in the comments, people of course were coming at her because she was showing a lot of skin and basically saying, you know, how are you talking about them when you doing something similar? So what did y'all think about what she said? I haven't seen the challenge, but I can imagine.
I don't know.
I've seen it.
I've seen the challenge. I think it's stupid.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just stupid.
I've not seen it.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it all the way a bean. So when you scrolling by, you know what I'm saying, you see certain stuff, you gonna pause for a second. But I did reach a place and look, you know what I'm saying? But then I got to a place where I started getting exhausted. Like, you start seeing the same stuff. You go to the Explore page, you see half naked, that's all they showing. Like, you just start getting exhausted. You start getting overwhelmed, overstimulated. It's like, and you kind of feel like what she's saying, like, man, can I just come on here and just see somebody NBA or something? Like, I don't want to. And people say, well, just log off. Why do I got to log off? You know what I'm saying? Why is it that this is what you want to show? And it's up to the individual whether they want to look at it or not. But some people, like, if you just scrolling up and down your timeline and that's all you see, like that's what you see when you're a popular figure, like you were saying before, like Megan Thee Stallion, all these girls in the headlock when it comes to Megan Thee Stallion and Lotto and all these folks, and they see them doing it and they don't have a proper female figure. I know girls who go to the same club with their mama. I know people who doing crazy stuff. Yeah. So when you don't have no real like positive models, and you see these folks, they got money, they got fame, they got clout, they got all this kind of stuff, and they doing it. You feel like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. And they don't really know no better. So for somebody to come out and speak and say that, and for me, I don't have a problem with her saying that with her outfit on. She's not saying you can't be attractive and do different things. I probably would not want my woman wearing it. But you feel what I'm saying? But I feel what she's saying. I can come out and be attractive, you know what I'm saying, to be appealing. I don't have to be no uptight like this, but I don't have to have my behind on online half naked every day shaking it in order to get some attention. So
the concern for me comes, what's going to happen in 20 or 30 years? Right? If they get in this bold now, right, to show less and less and less, you know what I mean? And it's becoming normalized, then imagine what their children, he just said, a girl and her mama go to the same club, right? So I mean, if that trend continues, so that's always when I see these things, when I see these things, that's what hits me first. Man, what's this going to look like in 30 years? You know what I mean? What's the world going to be like?
Go on TikTok. You'll see a mother and daughter. They both shaking their behind together. Like, who the sister? Who the mama?
People do it in front of children.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be the simp of the week. But it's honestly, it kind of starts with us as men.
Yeah,
we gotta shut that down. If we say, you know, I always think about this from a hip hop perspective and thinking about this topic, like when the drug dealers were getting talked about, and then the drug dealers became the rappers. Like in the 2000s, when we was hyping up strip club culture, when we talking about all the strippers in their songs, and then they became the rappers. This is the byproduct of that. So we as men got to say, we're tired of it. Yeah, because they think that we like it.
Well, the problem is, even if you are tired of it,
like
there's a billion other dudes.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. Men have to take the accountability to
you
say,
ain't gonna get all of them to do it.
You can't.
It's the reason why.
What do you do with the reality that no matter what we think, there's millions of dudes that love it?
Well, because and I think the problem we're having is because the women are feeling like y'all like it, so we're going to continue to do it because y'all like it.
But here, the thing is you're right, they do. But the problem is, it like she said at the end of the video, you're not giving them any kind of like work. I mean, like it used to be where you had to sneak stuff, you had to go sign up for something. Yeah. Now it's just all over the place. So the thing is, I think what I would hope, if it's worse than this, then I don't know what to do. But I would hope the reason is because you want to feel appreciated, right? Yeah. You want people to notice you. You want to become famous, or you want to get money. Something, right? There's some reason. It's not just because you just like doing it.
Self-esteem.
So if that's the case, the problem is the guys that like that and enjoy that, they don't have any respect for you.
Yeah.
So what the thing that you want, you're not really going to get.
Yeah.
They don't even have it for you.
But the enemy is deceptive.
Yeah.
He will make you think that they want that. But a mature man, right? Because I lead the men's ministry, so like I deal with men all the time, and you get a lot of guys, man, Pastor, I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with that. I get it. A lot of men, and plus a lot of men of color, are starting to date outside their race because we just tired of seeing it.
Oh yeah, there's that.
Right?
Boy, you finna get.
I know they're gonna be getting me up on this, but it's true to a point, right? It is true to a point because.
What's your church again?
I'm gonna come back with a rebuttal.
I mean, we see it, and women know that men are sight stimulated, right? And so you may look at, it, but you like, I may look at it, but that ain't. I wouldn't take her home.
Nah.
I ain't taking her home to meet mama.
Nah, you ain't.
She ain't coming to the house.
True.
Hey, but
I'll
that
look at you
outside
all
the
day,
race
but
thing,
yeah.
though, I'm gonna tell you this though.
Okay, go ahead.
When you see them other races in the gym, what they doing? They doing them squats. They doing them things. They
trying
trying
to
to get them
Trying
butts
to
like
get
them
that
black
same
women. Because they
Yeah,
trying to
it's definitely not just a black. It's happening all over the place. But
trying to tell you.
I think because it kind of originates, but it's kind of we're the popular group of people on, especially on social media. So I think that's where that stems from. But I would just say, if anywhere inside of you cares to find somebody who would really love you, really care for you, really sacrifice for you, put you first, all those kind of things that I would believe your heart actually wants, I'm telling you, I everybody could give their testimony here. I 100% wasn't looking for that.
Right.
Looking for no booties shaking.
Right.
If you even
not
look
at
like
all.
you like attention too much, I
Right.
wasn't interested.
Yeah.
Right.
So
My
I
lifestyle
definitely
a
wasn't
little different,
interested.
I ain't gonna-
I'm saying,
Hey,
I mean, I wasn't
hey,
trying to
hey,
lock
flip.
anybody down that was that wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but I liked
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I
Hey.
entertained it. However, I want to say something to Jeremiah's credit here. He said it starts with us, and then you had said something that you don't know if they're doing it for validation or to get likes or to feel better about themselves. Well, that's probably because a lot of times there isn't a man in the household, or they haven't grown up in a two-parent household, right? So it does really truly start with the men. Starts with us doing what we got to do in our families, for our families, because that is a byproduct of that evaporation of the family unit.
Yeah.
All right, so we're doing a lot of women's topics without any women in the room, so keep that going.
Well, we got a male perspective of what
Yeah,
y'all.
it's important
what you
to hear
think,
what-
men you think. Men
So
think
let's
about it.
set up the next one.
Well, it's just Rihanna. She had a photo shoot. And
Oh,
she tried to be a sexy nun, turned evil. So yeah.
So there's no video or nothing, so I'm just show you. Just
We can't show the video.
guard your heart. So this is what she did. She's dressed up as what, like a demon nun or something like that,
Yeah,
or a frisky nun, I guess.
Frisky.
So it's kind of in the same vein of what are we selling to our kids, to the culture, like that this is on the cover of a magazine. It's just kind of sad, man. It's not even, to me, before you even get to the Christian culture of it all, just the fact that that's what we're promoting out there is just already like questionable. Why? Obviously, people do this to get us riled up, right? Christians, not men. Christians, to get Christians riled up because it boosts your engagement.
Yeah.
Because even if people are mad, they're still coming, right, to the chat. So, what's our response? Do we just not talk about it? Do we not react, or do we call it out even stronger? Like, how do we deal with this? Because they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah, I saw a non-believer in her chat say, "I'm not even a religious person, but girl, this ain't it. Like, this is dangerous. You shouldn't be doing this at all." But my other thing is this: like, we had this conversation. I know we'll get to this conversation. We had this conversation on my call. Like, at some point, when you reach a certain status, her being a billionaire, do you just say no to stuff?
Right.
That doesn't make sense with your brand. Like, this is off brand. Why would you say yes to
It's
this?
not off brand for her though. Why was it?
She do a lot of sacrilegious stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
think
I mean, you put $1 billion in front of my name, and you're gonna see a lot of stuff that I just you can't even have a conversation with me about. Like, this just that's retirement shut down right there. Like,
Yeah, but what about her
dumb
makes
stuff.
you think she would turn that down?
I guess because this seems like what magazine is this?
Interview. I think interview.
Magazine.
I've never heard of it.
magazine.
Okay. When you got a B with $1 billion on the front, you can be on any other magazine.
You saying she doesn't need the money?
she don't need to do all that.
I don't even know if it's
So then
about
that means she did it because it was a choice. She chose to do it. And I've always seen Rihanna to have like a rebellious spirit, even in all of her
Yeah.
music and everything else. So this isn't surprising to me.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole thing, right? You take the wholesome nun, right?
Yeah.
And you turn it into the
freak.
promiscuous freak.
Yeah.
That's
you know
the
what I mean?
culture.
That's a rebellion right there.
yeah.
And another thing I was going to point out too is that a lot of it seems like nowadays people are being forced to do what they don't want to
Yeah.
do,
That's not what's happening.
and
She's not forced.
somebody's got somebody else is making those decisions.
We just need to shoot back.
You mean in
Christians.
that realm? But I think she's on top in that realm too, though. So I mean, they
Christians.
wouldn't force her to do anything.
I'm calling all the artists out there. We need to clap back. We need to go and find out who all these these people who they like, and Christians need to do photos like them so they could be mad.
What?
Find if somebody you know is a Buddhist, go get a Buddhist rap and be provocative.
But to me,
ain't you tired of this? Like, come on.
To me, that's the part.
Get you shot,
to me, that's the part that's irrelevant. Like, it's not about attacking our religion. To me, it's just it's just the
audacity of that's what.
It's just.
No reverence of God.
Yeah, it's the no reverence for God, and it's the intentional mocking of God. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's like, oh, Christians against Buddhists against Muslims. I don't care.
Do you think she thought that though?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the point of it.
Because I feel like
it's provocative.
I feel like you trace far back you trace far back enough, go back far enough, and you're gonna find somebody in your family who's offended by that.
What do you mean?
You're saying like mocking a religion is going to be offensive to somebody you love somewhere.
That's the mocking of religion is. I don't care about that. What I care about is God, right? I don't care about religions like it's groups of people. I'm talking about just the intentional mockery of God to a culture, and it's in pushing that message of mixing the profane with the righteous together, imagery. I think that holds in the culture. That idea you can kind of just be both.
Mocking God has become art. Like she'll do something like this. People that have the upside down crosses. People throw up satanic symbols and all these. It's like now they're calling it art. It's like it's supposed to be acceptable now that you're mocking God and you're doing these different things. That's what it is. Like her doing it, she did that because she knows it's gonna get a rise out of people. Like she did a nun outfit with the pictures. Like you said, the girl who wasn't even really a believer.
And then you're gonna get a bunch of the cultural Christians being like, you can't judge her, you can't do, and then that's her audience.
Yeah,
you get her attention with something you're familiar with, and then you get them to get mad at the super Christians.
Yeah,
that's the game.
And the sad part is, our fight, and it's kind of the theme of the show is fighting against each other as Christians because you're so idolized by this person that they can't do no wrong in your eyes, and you're like, and the other Christians kind of like us are like, yo, you don't see this? This is crazy. She shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah. And the natural reaction is to be like, well, what about you?
Yeah.
What you doing?
Yeah.
Instead of being like, okay, let me think about that. Yeah. And then what about you?
but again, I said it earlier. It's the music aspect. It goes back to the people are popular based off of what they do. And majority of these people got holes on these people was because of the music. So
this is definitely a culture war show because next up,
oh boy,
this is the one Ryan's been waiting on. This one he's excited about.
We should have did it first.
We should have did it first. Pull them in. This one is interesting. So I don't know how many people know about this, but they're I don't think so. I have. Y'all are the only ones I've heard talk about this in the group chat.
Yeah,
I ain't heard nobody else talk about this. But if you didn't know, you let me know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe y'all have heard about this. But they're rebooting Good Times on Netflix into an animated show. It's kind of we'll tell you what it's kind of like after you see it. But I don't know if they're gonna let us play this next part, so I'm gonna try and play it for you live. This is the benefit of being on live because I might have to cut it from the actual clip. But I want you to see what they're promoting to our culture, and pay attention to who is promoting. Here we go.
I have important news.
Let me guess. The state called and they want to cut you a disability check for your face. Hold up. You can get paid for that?
This is from a fool who stares at his orange juice every morning.
It says concentrate on the box. Who the dummy now? Me for not wearing a... Shadows fall over my heart. It all started with my grandfather, James Evans. My job as the man of this house is to take care of this family no matter what.
I just want to let you know I'm going to take good care of Gray.
Gray, who is this n***? I'm about to kill?
Juan, my boyfriend. Daddy, let him go.
Baby, she come with me.
Junior's repeating the 10th grade for the 3rd time.
Is there anything you can suggest to help him get to the drive-thru?
Can you do OnlyFans? Take off your shoes. Let me see what kind of feet you working with.
I'll take you to the dark side.
Wow. Dear Black Heavenly Father, Colored Redeemer, if you could just help us.
Son, it's for you.
New phone. Who this? All black, everything. At least they ain't got that drug dealing baby under my roof no more.
Man, my mouth ready for some milk right now.
Dalvin, why are you so breast obsessed? It's childish, man.
Bruh, I'm a baby. I can't get no more childish than that. In a nocturnal state of mind.
Your neighborhood? a system. They put the guns and drugs on the streets.
This is getting dangerous. I won't just sit back and let you put yourself in harm's way. I love you too much. Everything black.
The revolution will not be televised.
Come on, Rosa Parks, can't you just enjoy this?
We're just as good as the Evans of old.
Isn't that just dynamite?
But the truth is, we're the Evans of new.
You look like money. What about the struggle?
We're black. It'll be here tomorrow.
Jesus.
So,
Oh my God, please.
So there was a lot of response from the old cast of Good Times.
I bet
we want to let you hear one of the responses.
Thelma.
Yeah. So let's see what she has to say.
You said that you were told it was going to be a cartoon and that it was going to be progressive. That's exactly the criticism, is that it doesn't feel progressive at all.
So when you see something that actually is not progressive, it brings you back into the projects 2 generations later. So Thelma had a baby. What happened to that baby? I wanted to be a surgeon. I guess I was. DJ was a famous artist. So you have positive images generations before that. And then all of a sudden you see this. I'm not knocking it because I don't know what the whole show is going to be. Maybe they'll lean it more back to a more positive situation. But when you have the name Good Times on top of that, our audience for 50 years have been really in our corner. They've always supported us. So they were disappointed that they didn't have it more progressive as the
All right, so the new Good Times, what do you guys think?
That joke was so
man,
ignorant.
I mean, it was the most ignorant thing I've seen in a long time.
That was actually hard to
that
watch.
Was horrible.
Yeah, that was hard to watch.
That joke ignorant, bro.
That thing was like Hollywood show.
Bro, the stuff they had, like with the shootout scene with all the folks, it's like
Yeah.
a million people shooting in the window,
Yeah.
and just like the character,
Yeah.
the way they talking, the acting is like. This is what people think people of color act
every
like.
stereotype.
And we're supposed to sit back and
Every
laugh at this. When you
Every
think about
stereotype.
the Good Times show of the past, like it was
Oh,
about
yeah.
a real family going through real circumstances,
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
together, trying to overcome poverty and struggle and
Yeah.
things of that nature. Now you taking that, and you pretty much spitting in their face and making
Yeah.
it a joke. You got a baby selling drugs.
Yeah.
You got that's all
It was
crazy.
about so the original show was about breaking the stereotypes.
It was.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
This one is
it
about
was.
glorifying the stereotypes.
Yeah,
you know, it's we're
Well,
going backwards with it.
I think some stuff that people had. I think he had a problem. Probably 2 things with it was Steph Curry
Steph Curry
was
executive
executive producer.
that's
the producer.
And we like
surprised to see
Steph,
that.
bro.
Steph.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
surprised to
then
see that.
also, so the irony of it is that this is the reason why Good Times ended in the first place.
Yeah.
James Amos, who was
John
playing,
Amos.
John
John
Amos
Amos.
was playing James at the time. They wanted to go in a negative direction,
And he said
and he
no.
refused.
Yeah.
So he got fired.
They killed him.
And
off
then a
the show.
year later, Florida Evans quit the show as well.
They were the ones that pushed back.
They
on
were the ones that
everything,
pushed
you
back
know?
against, this
Stereotypes.
these stereotypes, and then here we are 50 years later. We brought
the
it back,
executives won,
and
yeah.
we've made it worse.
Yep.
And it also is touching on real life issues that the black community still deals with. You know, they said juniors repeating the 10th grade for the 3rd time. Like, there are situations where young kids have struggling, neurodeficiencies, and they have to go through more tutoring, more advanced education to get to the level where other kids are. So it's bad on so many levels. The thing that I would have loved to hear is how many people turned it down. Like, that's what I wanted to find out about this, because I wanted the actors to say, "Oh, I was asked to do this crazy read, and I'm not doing it." You know, but that didn't happen, because we see
Here's why.
Marseille Martin, who has been a part of the Blackest shows for all these years.
I'm gonna tell you why. I think Jeremiah has been saying this. I think it was pitched because Seth MacFarlane is a part of it as like a black family guy, and kind of like their take on Boondocks. So I think most of them were probably like, this is going to be a good thing, because I think most people like Boondocks, even though it had some moments in it that's like, but it was still overall seemed like it was trying to say something about the culture. I suspect that they are also going to attempt to say something about the culture here too. They're using the the imagery and the
Shock
stereotypes
factor,
to pull you in. Because here's the one piece that made me think that. It was the whole, they're bringing guns into the hood and this and that. That makes me think that each episode is going to have some sort of point. But I don't think you need to take it so far in the gutter to get it back to the point. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Because these are the descendants of the Good Times family that we know.
Yeah.
So like what she was saying is we were on a trajectory of coming out of this and you put us right back in it.
Yeah.
And that to me is you could have done a little bit better with that. And you don't have to show ignorance and then try to blame it on other people to prove a point.
Yeah.
There are real struggles that we deal with that don't require us to kind of make fun of ourselves in a way.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what it's disappointing. But I have to wait to see it come out and be sure that that's where they're going with it. But that's my guess is that they're going to try to make it positive. And I bet the reaction is going to make them cut a different trailer.
I don't think that
I guarantee the next trailer is going to be more positive.
I don't think you're going to land anywhere good when the baby is a drug dealer.
Yeah.
And
that's playing off like the Dave Chappelle joke.
Yeah. Okay, but that was a joke, and that was really
and
funny.
You're laughing
that
right
was
now.
Really, really funny. But what I'm saying is, he was talking about how you just don't get out the car. That was funny. Shout out to Dave Chappelle for that, because that was really funny. But what I'm saying is, like, you can't spin the negative you can't spin the positive on a drug dealing baby.
They're gonna try. They're gonna try. I guarantee you.
I'm just wondering, like, how are they gonna spin the positive on the OnlyFans references? How are they going to spend a positive on, the kid repeating the 10th grade 3 times or whatever?
Yeah. When I say positive, it's going to be mainstream black culture positive.
Okay.
Which means it's not going to be godly in any kind of way, but it's going to try to make the point that we need programs to help us get out of these things. Where it's it's the system's fault as to why we're here, and so we have to show it this way so that people know that what we have to deal with. Instead of, to me, what the first Good Times did was show the real story of how black people deal with things like that and how they're able to get out of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I can't judge it before it comes out because I suspect that they're going to try and spin it positive.
Yeah.
It actually is out?
It's out.
Now? Okay, so if anybody's watching in the comments, let me know. Am I right about that? I suspect they're going to try. I'm not saying they're successful. I suspect they're going to try.
I mean,
go ahead, Jay.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, my question would be, where's the moral compass in all this, right? There's so much power in imagery. What they're doing is they're planting seeds.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. They're planting seeds, right? And so if you know anything about the first Good Times, Esther Roll actually almost didn't even do it because they wanted her to be a single mother.
Yup. Facts.
She said, if you don't give me a husband, I'm not taking the role. Right? And so here we go. We circle back, 30 years, 40 years now?
Almost 50.
Almost 50 years now?
Yeah.
And we're right back in the
Right
same
back,
position.
yeah.
So how much progress have we really made?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, they're playing on what we as a society enjoy seeing. And I say that to say this. If they did a reboot of The Cosby Show as a cartoon, right, would it be as attractive to us as this wild,
our culture has made this attractive.
Absolutely, yeah.
When The Cosby Show used to be attractive to us. So what has happened since then?
That in a different
But
world.
real quick, I got to say this because Mark Arthur C. Phillips gave us a super chat. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
I am going to keep it a buck. I don't know where Steph Curry is spiritually. This show looks like it is pushing a lot of stereotypes, to be honest. I have not seen the show, though, but from the trailer, it looks weird. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think the thing is,
You said it was like full nudity in it, didn't you?
Oh,
they're showing some shadow play.
Yeah,
in
there's some shadow play in the trailer. I didn't see the cartoon.
I couldn't edit that.
But I think the thing is, I think the thing is real quick. I think that's the culture of what we think positivity is. Positivity is telling what they did bad and why we still going through it.
Yeah.
That's their version of positive. Like, they bring guns in the community. That's why we kill ourselves. It's like, you don't have to grab
well, the answer is, okay, we're not ignoring the fact that did happen.
Yeah.
They did push drugs and guns into the community.
Yeah.
The response should be, even if they did, that's not going to we going to push back against that.
Yeah.
Right. That should be the message, not, oh, well, they did it, so let's, you know what I mean? And
I saw something that was really good on one of the reviews of the trailer where they were just like, there's no part of the white community that's going to let a white baby be a drug dealer in a cartoon or a series or anything like that. And that's the truth.
That's the truth, bro.
And you're not gonna find the actors that are gonna voice that.
Nah.
Like you said, a drug dealer or
a drug dealing baby. They wouldn't put that in a series or animation at all.
He get pretty close with Stewie, man.
Oh, yeah,
Stewie's the closest you're gonna get, but we haven't seen him slang anything yet.
Yeah.
I've never even watched that show.
But here's the question though, and going back to what you said earlier, it's almost like the movie. Have y'all seen the movie American Fiction?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
That movie is the perfect example of when people who think they're helping when they're really not helping.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like they think Seth MacFarlane and Norman Lear probably thinking, this is what they want. We can do this.
Yeah.
And hey, Steph, this is what this is going to be about. This is the conscious part of it. And they thinking it's helping. And to be fair to the people who voice this, I understand that sometimes you need in Black Hollywood, it's not a lot of money. It's not there. So you got to get those type of roles.
No.
But at the same time, you got to look at stuff of, is this right? Like, I know it's funny because it's a lot of comedians on here.
But it's not funny. I think if it was funny, it would have been better. But the jokes that I just saw,
it's
cringe.
Man, I just think
it says concentrate on like that's an old joke.
No, man. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said it reminded me of Hollywood Shuffle. Like it was really like degrading stuff, and it's like as an actor or actress voicing this, the difference in the Boondocks was like the Boondocks had moments. They had funny moments, but at the same time, the Boondocks, some of the characters in it were like, we're fighting against this. You get what I'm saying? Like, it was a difference.
Would you have more grace for this if it wasn't a Good Times reboot, if it was just a new show?
No.
Would you give it at least more of a rope to see, let me see what they're going to do?
Nah, it's still ignorant either way. I just think they feel like if it was something just straight positive, people are not going to watch something that's just plain positive.
That's the sickness in us.
Yep, they feel like we got to have something so blatantly ignorant to catch people's attention.
But I think, honestly, animated series like The Cosby Show would be good for all of our kids.
Nobody's going to watch it.
But they're not going to watch it.
If it's positive, they're not going to watch it.
They tried to bring The Cosby Show back.
NBA YoungBoy is the #1 rapper in the world right now.
unless Bill Cosby is doing crazy stuff in it as the cartoon.
Like
they
it was,
want to watch it.
Current Bill Cosby.
Unless something in your pudding, then they're going to watch it.
And just to make a point what Sean just said, if it didn't have Good Times as a title, we wouldn't even be having this discussion.
Nobody would care.
So,
all right, so speaking of black culture, so apparently Russia cracked open the archives, and Jesus is black, apparently. Let's see what he said.
This dude is way too silly.
Why the music?
As the Ukraine-Russia war drags on, Russian President Vladimir Putin has decided to move one of Russia's holiest icons from a museum to a Moscow cathedral.
He said in the 60s that Jesus was a black man.
Have you ever come across biblical icons that portray Jesus, the Virgin Mary, Elisha, or King Solomon with dark skin? If you have, then you should know that Russia has recently opened its vault to reveal biblical icons featuring darker-skinned figures. This is not an unusual depiction of biblical figures, but rather a factual representation. These icons hold deep meanings and hidden truths, sparking curious questions about history, faith representation, and the unexpected corners of religious art.
I just got one question. How you white Christians feeling now that Putin done opened up the bubble? What I've been telling y'all, what we've been telling y'all,
Why she had to
who
say
the world
white
ignorantly calls Jesus is a black man. He's a black man.
Yo, I had to say this. I'm sorry. What if Trump made a deal with Putin? Like, yo, if you show them as black people
will flock to you.
We're bringing the Russian. They can work good for you.
Oh man, so here come the Hebrew Israelites. But yeah, so what you
just charged them up.
Precept upon precept.
Uneducated black people. But so what do y'all think? Do you think this is revealing some truth about Jesus? You know, it wasn't just Jesus; it was several biblical figures.
The Bible's description of Jesus reveals the truth. Yeah.
Do you think it? Okay, let's talk about that. Do you think it reveals that he's black or just not white?
I mean, he's Middle Eastern, so I'm sure that it's just a.
But that's not what these people are claiming. They're not saying he's Middle Eastern. They're saying he's black.
I think he's black. I think he's African.
Yeah, I mean.
From Bethlehem?
Yeah.
African from Bethlehem?
Man.
I mean, when you talk about the Garden of Eden.
The Middle East is Africa,
the
bro.
Nile
No,
River,
man, I get that, but I mean, like,
So
wouldn't he be more Arabic?
So this is a big discussion. We're wading into deep waters here because there's a belief that if you go to Egypt right now, it don't look like black people there. But it's a belief that those people came and displaced the black people that were there. So if you go to Egypt and Morocco and all those places, it looks like people of Arab descent. But people are saying that's not what it used to be.
When I looked it up, I did some research on this. So you had a transatlantic slave trade, but you also had a trans-Arab slave trade. And they were saying during that time, that's when a lot of people who were darker complexion was displaced in those regions. When you saw a lot of slaves come up, before we were called niggas and Negroes and stuff, they had signs that said Hebrews for sale. Hebrews was another word basically for Hebrews. So you went from Hebrews to Negroes to niggas. So I'm not saying I'm not no Hebrew Israelite. I'm not saying I come from the tribe of so and so and all that. I don't know.
N-E-G-U-S.
Yeah,
right?
I am. But that's what the origin was. So I believe even with Egyptians, you think of Egyptians during that time when Herod was trying to kill him, he had to go hide in Egypt. Yeah, they have a certain kind of darker complexion, golden complexion. He might not be. I'm joking. He might not be like a black person like us, but he definitely not. Old dude, he definly not
what they depict.
Yeah. Blue eyes. Sure. He ain't Justin Timberlake. You know what I'm saying?
Here's my because I've talked to several people who have kind of become Hebrew Israelites over the years, and my take on this is, and they always get mad at me. So what?
Yeah.
So what? What does that change about your faith? If he was black or white or Asian or Chinese, what difference does that make? Now, I understand their argument is they stole our history to enslave us, to put us down. If they did that is super wrong, and they should not have done that. Yeah. And it is important to reclaim that history, if that's true. But as far as what it does for your faith, what difference does it make? And I would just say, as if you're a Christian, you believe, because it says in the Bible, I remember reading, there's no Jew, no Greek, no this, Gentile, no that, right? Gentile, So ultimately, does God care whether or not Jesus was black? I don't believe so. Is it right that if they hid this? Absolutely not. And they hid it for a reason to make y'all feel small, right? But does it actually matter to your personal faith whether he was black? Because if you go around the world, in Asian countries, Jesus looked Asian. In Mexico, he looked Mexican. Clearly, he white in America. Everybody tries to make Jesus their own thing. What I'm saying is, let him be his own thing. And his race had absolutely nothing to do with who he was as a figure in history. God Almighty. That's what matters, not whether he was born as a black person, a white person. Race was constructed to separate us, right? He was a Hebrew. He lived in Egypt. That's the truth of it. Right. But we've created, you're a black person because you got a couple of drops of black. You're a black person, you got a couple of drops of black. You're fully black. That's something that we made to separate ourselves. So it's just a warning. Yes, it could be that Jesus was black.
I think.
What does that change?
I'm sorry. I think it's very important to a certain degree.
It does change some things.
It's a lot for me, and a lot of it changes a lot because
not for me, but
I know a lot of people, as we all do, they don't believe in Christianity because they say it's a white man religion. Now that don't mean if
that
Jesus
would help with that.
Yeah. So if Jesus in fact is black, that don't mean we get to go around and parade and say we God chosen people and start treating people the way we didn't want to be treated.
No.
But for those people, you're able to identify and see like, hey, I come from a lineage of people who God loves and cares about, because the people, a lot of black people say is, if God loves us and God cares about us, why are our communities like this? If God loves us and cares, why are we on the bottom of society? If God loves and cares about it, why are we going through what we're going through? I don't think that answers the questions completely why we go through certain things, but it shows you this is not a trick of the white man. Like Christianity was established far before slavery. It like helps kind of let you kind of like peel back the layers and see like this is not a white man religion they just made up and gave us. Like these are our people. You know what I'm saying? This is where we come from. Who you are, it matters. Like you come from something that matters. You're not your the beginning of your history didn't start in slavery. You know what I'm saying? It didn't start in your hood or your neighborhood. Like you were people made by God, loved by God, who had a whole culture and a civilization and all these things before all this stuff even happened.
But that goes to righting wrongs. I agree. Righting wrongs, 100% is important. I'm just saying, forget all that. You as a person, what difference does it make to you?
So it's not that it changes anything for me. I think it's funny when it comes to like the KKK and what they
it sure is.
yeah.
That's pretty funny.
That's all I was saying. It's like it does change things because it's like okay,
it changes things
what
for
are you
them.
going to do now?
Changes things for them. What does it change for Ryan Righteous?
Oh, nothing. It didn't change anything for me.
Because if you find out he wasn't, would it change?
No.
If you found out he wasn't,
if I found out he wasn't black.
No.
When we had the pictures of the white Jesus in the living room, I still worshiped him.
No, my grandmother had black pictures of Jesus. When
we had the one that looked like what's the dude?
We had something that looked like this.
Fabio.
We had something that looked like the vault.
We had that one.
We had something that looked like the vault. But I'll say this: like, I mean, whenever I pray, I always picture the description from the Bible. That's what I see. And when I think about people who treat people of color a different way and call themselves a Christian, I just sit back and be like, bruh.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, you would have treated Jesus that way too.
Right.
Exactly.
The one thing we know for sure is that he was not white.
And you might want to think some things
you
right
see what
now.
I'm saying?
Like,
regardless of if he was black or not, we know he wasn't white. So everybody who uses Jesus to be racist looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that we could just clear that up right now.
It's less and less people that because more and more people are realizing that. You know what I mean? Like there's just way too much documentation, technology, whatever it is you want to call it, to know, what his true or closest heritage was. And we all know, including white people, that he wasn't white.
Yes.
Yeah. At least they all should know.
I think we got to look at too, like, does it change how I view God? No. But I've sat in many meetings with pastors of different colors, different denominations, and it's been a big discussion, right?
Yeah.
Do I think it makes a difference? Absolutely. If it didn't make a difference, then we wouldn't have that imagery of a long-nosed, blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus.
That's what's hanging up in my kids' school.
Imagery plants seeds, right? Yeah. And so, like my brother right here was saying, that's why we get this from a lot of African Americans. Oh, it's a white person's religion. Right?
Yeah.
My desire is when people come and ask me, I just say, he had skin of bronze, he had hair of locks. You make your own decision. Right?
Yeah.
And why they just call it black? You know what I'm saying?
And it wasn't Goldilocks.
And it wasn't Goldilocks, right?
Right.
So
how about this? You would have called him black. Right?
I probably would have.
I'm saying them, the person you're talking to.
Yeah. But if you
would have called him black.
If you look at the region,
I've been telling my homeboy, he was like, man, I'm like 5% black. I said, get pulled over and see how much percent you are. They're going to show you. If you got a little 10 on, you got a little 5% 10 on your skin, hey, they're going to treat you like that.
Yeah, there's a greater chance that he looked like Nipsey Hussle than Fabio. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So I think well, that's what they put up there.
Yeah.
So I think that needs to
Or Justin Timberlake.
that's where he ain't hair like that. That's where it does matter. And I agree that there's a lot of Americans who, if they actually saw Jesus, they would be disappointed.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
I've said that in my prayer
They tried to make Moses look like Hulk Hogan. You seen that? They had a picture of Moses and they said this is what Moses looked like.
Hulk Hogan,
bro, with the hair in there. Like,
The long
on,
mustache.
I would say this.
Hulkamania, bro.
Don't let this get you caught up, because at the end of the day, you're going to stand before him. And if you get caught up on this race thing, because that's disobeying the word. You're not loving thy neighbor. Yeah. So you get caught up on it. It doesn't matter. Of course, representation does matter, but at the same time, we're saying this is your faith at stake here.
Yeah.
Your eternal coming to the Lord, or a separation matter. That matters more than what your race. The race about him. The race about him is because if you are you accepting him? If you don't accept him because of him of the image that the
How he
church put
looks,
out,
yeah.
then you may be.
I think there's a reason he did not come today, because people would be so caught up in what he looks like, how he comes off. It would have been impossible to get the message across now. I think it's really intentional that he came to a point where there's no pictures. You know what I'm saying? There's no way to capture his image, because he didn't want you. Because I think even us, we start to put images of Jesus on the wall. He didn't want you to worship his image.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think people make shrines for God and shrines for Jesus. That's not what he wanted. He wanted you to worship him. Yeah. And you have access to him. It's not just like this thing you have to make. Everybody wants something physical they can see and touch.
Golden calf.
It's not. That's not what it is. He wants you to worship him. And I think when we get caught up on all these color things, it's important to correct the record, because there's people who use it against us. But ultimately, that's why I'm like, what does it mean to you? It shouldn't mean much.
But I will say this too, right? I think there's a reason why there's intentionally no pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's also intentionality of why it's written in the Bible of what he looks like.
What he looks like.
Yeah.
That's intentional.
Yeah.
Or it wouldn't be in there, right? So we have to frame that too. Like, okay, what was the intention of his color of his skin and his hair? Why was that of such an importance in the Bible? Everything's in the Bible for a reason.
We got a whole culture of people like this putting out Good Times cartoons. You know what I'm saying? Like, who don't have, they don't have no identity, they don't have no purpose, they don't know where they're from.
Yeah.
So I agree with you 100%. Like, black, white, purple, turquoise, he Jesus, he my savior. But I think it is very important that this information be revealed and be shown to
because
people.
of the brainwashing.
Yeah,
You've been brainwashed to think you were dirt and nothing.
Yeah.
So that's, again, correcting the record.
Exactly.
I'm 100% with correcting the
So
record.
out of curiosity, let me ask,
matter.
what do you guys think of the imagery from The Chosen?
I love it. I love it.
You think it's accurate?
You know what? I thought it was bold.
Okay.
When I saw Joseph as a black man and Mary was white, I was like, whoa. Okay.
It's not accurate, though.
I like where it was going, though. I like the message that it's sent. It's
Jesus?
very bold. No. I mean,
they don't want to hear that.
No, I mean,
especially
if you haven't watched The Chosen,
if
you haven't watched The Chosen, there's a lot of black people in Chosen.
There is,
but
a lot of black people.
Well, it's accurate to that region. That's why
it is. Yeah,
Again, it still doesn't matter, because if Joseph was black and his mom was white, he would be white.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is that it's interesting to go that bold. Like, I think this is the #1 Christian show on television. So for the writing and the casting crew to go that bold and just put that out there,
it's halfway there.
Yeah, and you would think it would upset people.
Yeah,
and get a lot of
it's
backlash.
halfway there. But it still allows them to make Jesus white.
Yeah.
Ain't he white in the show?
But he don't look a white man to me.
No, he looks Arab.
He looks Arab.
Yeah.
Looks Middle
I
Eastern.
didn't see him.
Yeah.
Okay. The guy I saw on The View looked okay. All right.
They put a little bronzer on him.
Yeah.
And all
Okay.
that
All right.
stuff.
I'll give it to you.
I've seen him in other interviews. He's definitely not.
Hit him with
He's
the Trump spray.
definitely ethnic.
But he can I mean, they can do makeup and all that kind of stuff too, and that's fine. You don't have to have a non-white character play him, but the makeup and the look of him does work.
Yeah,
it works.
I think they did a good job too.
Okay.